Today, we're going to have a conversation with 2021 defensive end recruit Tunmise Adeleye, and all that's coming up after the bumper.
What do you mean you don't subscribe to my son's YouTube channel?
Mama, no!
Just snap the damn ball, RJ.
What's up, kid folk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step. Now, consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. So it's OU related, college football related, sports related. We have a good time, and today, going to have a conversation with 2021 defensive end Tunmise Adeleye, who was a junior day invite just a year ahead because the dude has so much talent, so much size, 6'3.5", 260 pounds. The man can play anywhere from 3 technique all the way outside to 7 technique and can rush from a 4-3, rush from a 3-4. I think that he could project to be the kind of guy that could be just wrecking folks inside in a 3-4 scheme at the 3 technique because he is that big, but not just that. He's got tremendous control inside. He rushes the passer really well. We know that, but also he diagnoses run with the best of them. He can get extended on plays and make a play in the backfield. He is going to be a great get for someone. And we talked a little bit about who he's thinking about, why OU is important to him, why it's important to his parents, but also why the change of defense coordinator. I'm saying defensive coordinator. He says change in defense is such a big deal to him in his recruitment, especially when we're talking about Oklahoma. Let's get into the conversation. I'm here with Tunmise Adeleye, and we were just starting our conversation with my man's name because folks that watch the channel know that I spend a lot of time just trying to get names correct. I asked Tunmise to just tell me what his name was. Again, I managed to get it right the first time. Then I screwed it up again. Then I screwed it up again. Then I got it right. Then we started recording this. Tunmise, what's good, man?
I'm good, man.
Hey,
I'm doing great.
Help the people with your name, dog.
Tunmise Adeleye.
One more time for the folks in the back.
Tunmise Adeleye.
Now we got that out the way. I'm sorry, dog. I wanted to talk to you because you're the first 2021 recruit that I've got to speak to and done this sort of a long-form interview with. So, number one, thanks for that. Number two, bro, I know you got your junior day invite to OU and whatnot. We can get into that, but I'm watching your film, and I got to tell you, for your size, I was expecting you to be a year older. 6'3", 260 is what you listed at. What are you walking at right now?
Man, it's 6 foot. It's 6'3.5". I've grown a little bit from the season.
Okay.
Now, just went to the doctor, and I'm sitting at 260 still.
Okay, that's what's up. And I'm watching you come off the ball, and you played anywhere from 3 technique to 7, and you have outstanding skills when we're talking about playing that modern 3-4 defensive end where you have tremendous control in the B and C gaps because, I mean, you're able to get your hands on and you read pass really well, and we'll get into that. But how do you see your game? Because I see you playing all up and down the board because of your size, but where do you think you fit in?
Man, honestly, I love playing end.
Okay.
I love playing 5 tech.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, wherever I'm needed for the team, that's where I'll play.
Right.
So wherever I feel I can be most versatile as a pass rusher, most versatile as a player, I think that's like the best for me. But I do love playing 5 tech. Right.
So, like, I'm looking at you, and because of the way that football goes, we assign guys to different sorts of positions, and what we're calling dudes that are under 6'5" that play inside, we're wanting to make those into Aaron Donald types. We're wanting to make those into Quentin Miller at Alabama. You watch that game, you can see that he had his way with a the best offensive line in football. And then we're talking about, guys like Christian Wilkins and Dexter Lawrence and whatnot at Clemson. Do you see yourself as like, I mean, you said you saw yourself as a 5 technique. So that is a down, that's a 4-3 in, right? So like, do you see yourself moving inside?
It's something that I talk to with my coaches in my high school. They talk to me about how I'm playing as a 5, as a more of like a 4-3 end at school.
Right.
But they tell me that at the next level, it's most likely going to change just because of how everything is, the collegiate level. Everything at position wise is so much dictated by speed.
Right.
So, moving to the inside is something that's probably going to become more inevitable. But, at the end of the day, it is what it is. Whatever happens, happens. if I continue to grow,
you
things can change.
You 2021, dog. You ain't got no choice. You still growing, whether you want to grow or not. I mean, because that's the other thing that jumps out about you is, I know you hear this a lot, but allow me. You are enormous. Like I'm watching you light up across from these cats that are guards and tackles. I'm going, yo, he plays at Tompkins and Katy. Them ain't small dudes that he's playing across from. And you're bigger, and y'all even play some. I mean, on the front, because I'm not watching the defense. I'm watching y'all up front of the line because obviously I'm watching film on you. But y'all will play a for real like 2-gap defense setup, and that's a tremendous amount of pressure on you because you have to catch the block, read the run, and then get off the block and go make a play. And you usually kind of telegraph that with having 2 hands on the ground and of course where you line up. But that is not a skill that I'm used to seeing out of dudes your age, out of dudes that are going into their junior year. That's something that I'm used to seeing guys getting ready to early enroll. You know what I mean?
So, well, it's just a long process. Coaches at the beginning of the year, they told us, because last year we ran the 4-3. My freshman year, I wasn't even on the varsity level, But last year we ran a 4-3 scheme,
right?
And this year, as we were changing it, our coaches basically told us that our success defensively was all going to come down to how well the defensive linemen play, because we're in the 3-4 now,
right?
So I just took that. I basically just took the bull by the horns, no pun intended, boomer sooner, all that, but yeah, you got to do what you got to do,
right,
to help your team win.
Yeah, well, I mean, your recruiting has, like, I'm used to seeing 2021 guys start to build the sort of offer list that you already have in place. And I mean, we get into a little bit, and folks know it's the OU channel and whatnot, but we can get into your crystal ball prediction if you want to about right now it says Texas, but we got years, right? What is it that you're looking for when you're going to things like junior days and when you're going to camps? What is it that your parents are keying in for you?
Man, for everything, it's the relationship with the coaches, how the coaches are, the coaching staff, but then also I'm going to college for a reason.
Right.
At the end of the day, to get an education. So for a big thing for my father is whatever school I go to, what does that school have to offer me after football, after everything's said and done, after I play 3 to 5 years, what's after football? So that's really a big thing, how the alumni are, like what they have to offer for you after football.
That's what's up. What are you planning to major in today? Like if you had to pick a major today.
If I had to pick a major, it'd probably be pre-law.
Okay.
But, anything can change.
Well, yeah, I mean, and everything does, but it's important to have a plan. Plans change, but, if you don't have a plan, you have nothing to change. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so we talked a little bit about, we started out talking about your name, and your name is Nigerian. Tell me more about your family and your background. Where do you fit in?
Well, my family's from Lagos, Nigeria. We moved to
which is the largest
Houston.
city in Nigeria, right? But not the capital.
It's not the capital, but it's the largest city. It's really diverse area. You see a lot of people.
Have you been there?
Basically.
Have you been there?
Yeah, I have.
Oh.
I went. I believe. Obviously, I stayed there until I was 3. I moved when I was 3. We came here in 2006.
Okay.
But I went back, I believe, 2 years ago now, 2 or 3.
Okay.
I went there, visited with my grandparents. It was a nice experience. I'm gonna go back before I go into college.
Right.
But I love Nigeria. I really have. I really love what it is to be Nigerian, the culture, everything. So it's big for me. But we moved here when I was 3 in 2006 to Houston. We lived in downtown Houston area for a little while. Then we moved out to Katy when I was around 4. And from then we've just been living in Katy. It's a great area.
No, it is. And you are not the first Nigerian football player that I have met, and I say that in reference to, hey man, sometimes I think that folks believe that somehow you end up just playing football, right? And I talked a little bit about this when we were talking about a guy that used to play at OU. His name is I don't know if you know about Ogbanio.
Yeah, that's one of my dad's favorite players.
Okay. All right. Did you ever hear the story about how he ended up playing football and folks just assumed it?
No, sir. I haven't.
He had a coach that basically told him that he was going to play football. Like it was like like Obo's like I don't think I want to do that. And he's like, nah, man, you gonna play football because he's a bigger dude, and it just made it fit. And he came in a little raw, and he developed into one of the better defensive players that OU's produced maybe in the past decade or whatnot. But you mentioned that he's one of your dad's favorite players. Are there other players that you yourself look up to? Not necessarily Nigerian, just period.
From the standpoint of football players, I look up to guys in the professional level like Joey Bosa, Aaron Donald, Khalil Mack, Von Miller, people like that. But in the collegiate level, it was last year. It was Ugbo. Who else? Another guy that I look up to. Nick Bosa.
Yep.
You know,
at Ohio State.
At Ohio State. Those are guys I really looked up to. Right. You know, defensive linemen.
So, when you went to junior day, it's at OU. Who were they talking to you about? Hey, we had these other guys come through, right? Were you getting any comps? Were not necessarily from coaches, just folks that were talking to you? Because I know there's a lot of other folks around, and folks want to focus on the offers. They want to focus on who showed up to what. Really, for your experience, what were you being told, and how did you feel?
From the experience, it was more of it wasn't really a big event.
Right.
They called it Elite Junior Day because that's what it's really people that the coaches were focused on. Even if they didn't have an offer at the time, it was people that the coaches had set apart as being elite, the elite of the elite. So it wasn't a really big event. It was just us conversating with coaches. They gave us a tour. We got to talk to the nutritionists, got to talk to former players. You know, it was a small event, just really getting to know what it is to be a Sooner at the end of the day. It wasn't really like a lot of these other junior days, which 500 kids show up. It was more of something that the coaches had that it was just focused for the players that are really getting looked at as of right now.
Right. Well, I mean, you're certainly one of those guys, dude. Do you have any other places in mind that you're planning to really check out in the way that you checked out OU? You want to go to an event. If they throw an event, you want to go there and check it out.
A&M. Okay. I'm going to A&M this weekend.
Okay.
But other than that, I want to come down to LSU. I don't know if I'll be able to make it possible. But LSU is another school I'm looking at, trying to get to.
No, man, and you should. I tell everybody to please go to as many places as you can, because I know a lot of this stuff, and folks don't really get into this a lot when we're as fans, but sometimes it can be cost prohibitive. Sometimes it's about travel and distance. So you coming up from Katy, I know is a big deal for you and your family. Was it you and your dad, or was it you, your dad, and your mom? Who went with you?
Yeah, it was me and my dad. Most of the time, it's just my dad and I, because my mom does work a lot. Right. She's in there. She works night shifts, so it is hard at times with her just scheduling and stuff to get my mom to come places. She's only been to one visit to me, which was last year for an A&M game. Other than that, but I do plan on getting her more involved in the process because she is going to be integral in my final decision making.
Yeah, man. I always say that parents are undefeated in recruiting. What mama and dad say, that carries a lot of weight. And as far as your dad being with you and y'all talking about it, were there things that he told you, hey, I really like that? Or there things that were brought up on tour that there's a coach or something that really hit it off with him?
I mean, my dad, back in the 8th grade, I went to a visit to Oklahoma. We watched the Texas Tech game. Okay. I think that was in 2017, I believe.
Okay.
Back in my 8th grade year. And from that day on, that's the school that my dad has fallen in love with. All the other schools that we visited, it's been nice, but my dad is always talking about Oklahoma. We need to get back up to Oklahoma. We need to go back to Norman. We need to check it out more. Because just off that 8th grade visit alone, that game day visit, he really was sold on Oklahoma. So he does love it a lot. And then getting to talk to Coach Riley, he just feels like Coach Riley's a down-to-earth person. So it kind of sold him more on Oklahoma.
And you personally, like, how did you feel about getting to meet Coach Riley and some of the other recruits that were on campus. Because I mean, I think I'm trying to remember who showed up that might be committed, but I don't think there really was one. So what did you think? What did you think about the talent, the elite junior day, as they call it?
It was good. There was, there's some names that you hear, like just, see on Twitter, guys. Tommy Brockemeyer, I believe.
Yeah.
Cody Jackson out of Foster is a kid that's in my area. Foster's close to Katy, close to the Katy area. So, talking to some of the elite guys out there, just seeing what they think about the school was nice. Getting to know them more. Talking to Coach Riley was really good. A lot of coaches are real uptight, and even though I'm a 2021 guy, what they try and do is they try and they try and press me to make a decision too fast. Coach Riley was just, he was calm, cool, and collected. He was just he's just happy to have me there, basically. He didn't try and push anything on me, pressure anything on me. He's just saying that basically Oklahoma is a school that really wants me, that the coaching staff really wants me, and that he's glad that I made it up, and he plans to see me more in the future.
No, that's what's up, and especially at your age, man. Like, I would hate to hear that somebody's really trying to push you to commit at your like you 2 years away, dog. You 2 years away. I mean, this is the process. Should be fun for you. This is a reward for being good, not just off the football field, but also in the classroom, which I'm sure your parents stress.
Yes, sir.
Is there anything that you wanted to tell me that I did not get to ask you?
Nah, man, that's really it. I'm just happy, basically, to see some new faces defensively, like coaching staff wise, because I feel like the defense was something that really inhibited Oklahoma last year, and to see that Coach Riley is making strides to make it better, it's something that's kind of uplifting as a recruit, because you want to see a school get better progressively as the years go by before you make any decisions. Because, at the end of the day, I'm going to go to school where I feel like I can win a championship, a national championship at, as long as get a good education. So, when you see Coach Riley is making like strives to make the defense better, it feels good as a recruit.
No, that's I mean, I like hearing you say that, because a lot of folks put a lot of emphasis on the defensive recruiting at Oklahoma because the defense has been so statistically bad, despite the kind of talent that has been there. And I had been very critical of the defense in the past. And we've always, like I kind of said that dudes of your talent and your age are doing Oklahoma a favor at this point, because, yo, man, I know you want to get an education, and that is your primary goal, and you want to win a national championship, and OU's in that conversation. But at the end of the day, you also would like to make a career out of football, right?
Yes, sir.
So, I mean, that all comes into play, and I commend you for saying that, right? Because that goes into your decision, and it should. Man, Tunmise, thanks, dude. Like, this has been fun.
It's all good. Yes, sir. Appreciate it, man. Thank you for taking the time out your day to talk to me.
All right, that's it for me. Deuces.